Hey guys, imagine you are doing open source contribution, but it's not you. Yeah, it's not you, it's your coding agent. That also on autopilot mode. So last month I shipped total 8 merged PR across WordPress and Greenpeace organization. And in this video, I tried to share my system and workflow, how my current workflow is set up. In that like agent is having that auto mode and having that open source contribution. So I'll just switch it on my GitHub. So this is one of the PR which get merged under the WordPress, and Gutenberg is the main repository under the WordPress. And here is the your PR comment. So PR title, and here it is your PR comment. And it went, and then again maintainer asked few other things to change in code base. And again, so the agent in my agent system, I have that PR monitoring part, or the skill you can say. In each day it will automatically scan and see what are the things you need to update. So it picked this comment automatically, and it made all those changes and push it on my GitHub. And again he added here all these comments, and then it get merged. So yeah, similar way, these are the 8 PR which are already merged, and I'll add all this information under the video description. You guys can go and check it out. So coming back on how this system is currently set up and working for tuning your agent, you can say. So as you can see, I'm currently in my Obsidian tool. So Obsidian is a initially it was a note taking tool, but I think this tool is the best one. Like you can save your full knowledge base and all your files which will be sourced for your agent. So everything is stored here, and in this we have all the skill sets and all the flows and system are set up under this one, and then your agent will automatically pick this part. So in a simplified word, I'll just have an architecture DAW for you, and then we'll again come back on Obsidian tool, and I'll show you workflow and how it went by the agent step by step. So in an architecture, the first part is the skill sets. Like your skill files are the most important one here. So I'll just have a skills here. Okay. And in the skill so in my system I have main two skills. One is the global one and another is the project level. Like for example, I did contribution, one in the WordPress, another is the Greenpeace. So they are two different project itself. So coding guidelines will also differ here, and the things is also differ in terms of code base and the knowledge base which coding agent need to be hold for each project differently. So for that we'll just need to have that skills. So just have, yeah. So one is the open source workflow file or workflow skill file, which will give your agent like you can say overview how the this open source workflow will work, and this is the entry point for your agent to understand your system. And then second part is your contribution skill for your project. So in Greenpeace I'll have one project skill. Then in the WordPress it will be another skill file for that contribution guidelines and everything for that. Like to make any contribution you need to have a guidelines, you need to follow certain rules and to understand the code base. So all those things will be saved under one file, and it will be project basis. So then you will have another layer here, which is again most important one. In this you will have a, so this is the gates and safeguards layer, you can say. So yeah, gates or safeguard, just have colors. Okay, so here we'll have PR-Gotchas. So as I just showed to you, one of the PR maintainer ask few other new things, changes, and again agent need to be have those in mind, and again need to change and push it on GitHub. So to have that mechanism in the loop, we need to have other gates and safeguards, you can say, which will help your agent to do not like not drifting a lot, like changing a direction or maybe hallucinating. To just save from that, we have this layer gates and safeguards. So in this first part will be in this first part will be your gotchas, PR-Gotchas. Let me, yeah. So the first part will be the PR-Gotchas. So like whenever agent making any PR, and then suppose like one PR not get merged, and maintainer add like certain information, like the way PR is added, it's not correct manner, contribution guidelines are not following up, and any other code base related things. So agent in a second day, whenever we fire our agent, when PR monitor system gets started, it will check those and it will understand what's the issue actually. And to not having that same mistake again, it will save that scenarios and that summary of that issues under one file, which is PR-Gotchas. So this is most important behavior. Like if your agent made one issue, then it will not have that same mistake later on. So this is the uh, that file which will help your agent to not make same mistake again and again. So another layer will be here, like your PR monitor system, which I mentioned previously as well. So your PR monitor system, this is your PR monitor system, and then your research gotchas. So another layer is we have research gotchas. Just add. Yeah. So now we have a PR gotchas, which is based on your project. Like for example, Gutenberg. So under the Gutenberg, we'll have PR gotchas, or like a build SOPs. You can say in the build SOP, we'll have a gotchas. But in a wider perspective, or you can say spectrum, we have making lot of open source contribution like a WordPress, Greenpeace, and other organization as well. So some of them are the, you can say, thinking way is wrong for the UI agent. Like sometimes your agent did thinking wrongly manner. So those things can be have a as a global level of gotchas. You can say this mistake can be made in any other projects as well. It is not based on your contribution guidelines, or maybe like a code base. It's just a general mistake which your agent is making. So you can save those into this gotcha file, and whenever we having any new contribution or any new project set up in your local machine, agent will always research about that project on GitHub first, how the historical PR get merged, what are the guidelines and code base, how the code base is looking. So all those things it will save, as well as it will maintain the global research gotchas, like what not went good in terms of the research, what are the points you need to take care. So all those things cover in this layer. Then the important layer, everything is important honestly, but yeah. So every session, so basically I use the Claude Code, and I don't use any, you can say, application layer like a Claude Code desktop or maybe Codex desktop. I don't like those kind of tools because it is not giving you the full control and permission sets. In other hand, using a Claude Code or the terminal TUI, you can say TUI, it give you the full power set, and it will be wider in terms of, you can say, control. So I use the Claude Code. So each time once our session is ended and I have multiple session, it will automatically delete that previous session. To just not have that issue, uh, I have my own skill. uh, like end of the session, I'll just have that skill or that command file, and it will save that session as a session log. So next time agent will again analyze the full session, and it will not forget anything. So I just call as a session storage. Okay, just, yeah. This is the actual architecture which we are having here, like behind tuning your agent, and all this come into the picture. And again, top of that, you have main important file is Autopilot starter skill. So this is the skill which will be uh, like having that, you can say, behavior for your agent to be work as a autopilot mode actually. And all these things make your agent actually to having that open source contribution on autopilot mode. Hope it makes sense. Like it is a lot in terms of like things, but do not worry. Like I'll create all these files and post into the GitHub, and I'll add that link in the description box, and you guys can just have those download and set up in your Obsidian Vault. So this is the architecture. You guys, like, I just call this as a harness system for your OSS, like open source contribution part. And this is the thing. And coming back to Obsidian Vault, so in the open source, as I mentioned, we have a skill open source workflow. This is the first skill. Journal process applies on all the open source ecosystems, and everything is added here. So I'll share all these files, and you just need to have this file. And this is kind of file which I edited multiple times with each PR, and then this is the final version right now, or maybe I'll change this later on as well. And again, the PR monitoring part, we have PR monitor here. This is the PR monitoring thing, like it store everything, how the format should be, what are the stale PR handling, like how agent will handle the stale PR and vault updates and everything. And this is the autopilot starter, which is the first part here, autopilot starter. So this skill is the most important one. Like this is the skill which your agent give you, that or that awareness about like having autopilot mode. So this is the skill. So in the world, or maybe you can have just normal you can say files in your local machine. You can just simply create your open source project, like a folder. In that you can have this skill file set up. Once skill file is set up, you can just follow this folder structure. Like you can have a logs, then your ecosystem projects which you wanted to contribute, like for example WordPress or Greenpeace, and all this folder can also set up by UI agent. So you don't need to worry, you just need to set up open source as a main folder directory, then skills, and then logs and overview, and all these things will be done by your agent directly. And this is the research gotchas, you can say global gotchas file. So again, coming back on this logs file which I mentioned here, like all my session logs, as you can see, these are just a 6 session. In the 6 session, agent made 8 PR which get merged. So that's awesome, I guess. Like, but yeah, most of the time it diffed a lot. So you need to have this kind of system to not, so to make that direction point for your agents. So this is the logs, and these are the project. Under this project you can see I have, under the project we have other skill sets, as I mentioned, contribution skill per project, and this will also generate by the your agent. So agent skill contribution, in this everything is added. Yeah, and design principle, everything. Yeah, then Gutenberg contribution. So in the WordPress, I have two projects set up, Openverse and Gutenberg, and both project having multiple different things, like in terms of coding guidelines and contribution guidelines. So it's saved differently. And then this is the overview file. All the active ecosystems and PR monitoring happen here. So yeah, this is the setup which you guys can also replicate. Yeah, thanks guys, and let me know what are your thoughts here. Bye. Oh, ain't that something? Drums came in, you ain't see that coming.